Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. As some of you that do watch my content on a regular basis, you'll appreciate that I've not been around for a while. This is really due to a combination of things really. So we've had a little bit of illness in the family, which has meant that my time has been absorbed elsewhere. And also, to be quite honest, the weather here in the UK has been absolutely awful over recent weeks. We've had wind and rain, the river levels have been really quite high, and as a result of that I've just not had the opportunity to get out and paddle. It's the 2nd of March today, and yesterday and today are two of the nicest days really that we've had in quite some time, to be honest. So yeah, just happy to be out on the water. As some of you may know, I got my Swift Cyrus just after Christmas. That was delayed in the port, supplied by Norfolk Canoes, which is part of the Manchester Canoe Group. It was through no fault of theirs. The crossing that the container ship had wasn't that great, and then we got caught up in the port closures over the Christmas holiday. So the guys at Norfolk bent over backwards really just to try and get our boats out to us. Myself and a friend of mine, Wayne, he also picked up a new boat. He picked up a Prospector 14, I believe it is, and yeah, that's absolutely a lovely boat. So yeah, glad to be back on the water. Hope you are all well, and if you haven't already, then please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping to grow it a little bit more this year, and really appreciate your support. So paddles up people, and thank you for watching, and I'll leave you to enjoy a little review of the Cyrus. Paddles up, gang. So the layup that I ordered for my Cyrus is Expedition Carbon. I think it weighs in at 12.25 kilos. Some of you may have well seen the video that Bill Swift did of this actual boat. If you haven't seen it, it's on their YouTube channel, and it's got the definite weight on there because they put it on the scales as part of what they do with every boat that gets sent out. I've been on this only a couple of times, and I ordered it with the carbon foot bar, which, to be quite honest, I wasn't overly sure that it was something that I would need or use. But already what I have noticed is, even with, as I'm paddling now, with just one knee under the seat and my left leg touch forward onto the foot bar, you can actually feel that there's better power transfer. Today the winds are about 11 miles an hour with, I think, probably 20-mile-an-hour gusts. It's starting to pick up even more, and I'm trotting along quite happily into the wind, and I'm using my Badger Slither paddle, which is very easy on the shoulders and actually doesn't push too much water. Just coming around a bend, I'm over here on the River Stour, and you can see that the gusts are coming off the fields. I'm just trying to get hold of the front of the boat. I did also bring my carbon bench shaft. I got this back end of last summer, I think. I'm on a paddle sports page which is predominantly paddle boarding, and I'm friendly with the guy Ollie that created that group, and Ollie shipped over some really nice carbon fibre paddleboard paddles, and he asked me if I would like to get one shipped. So the one that I have here is bespoke, and yeah, it's really quite nice. It's really good for sit and switch paddling, really quite efficient. But personally, what I find is with a single blade, when the wind is wanting to push the boat about, the steering capacity of a single blade otter or beaver tail is far more capable, I believe, than a bench shaft paddle. That said, you can really get some power down with the bench shaft, so probably a good combination to bring out with me, actually. You may have noticed that up the front of the boat I've got my trusty duffel bag. That's an Autoline, I believe that's how you pronounce it, but it's only a 20 litre bag, but it's absolutely perfect just for chucking in a little bit of camera gear. There's enough room in there for some snacks, and a compact towel as well. Have another box in there which is another dry box that has things like my mobile phone charger, a little power bank, and some other bits and pieces. So there's quite a bit of weight in there with different bits and pieces that are in there, and that's really handy. I never go out without it, because what you can do is you can use it as a tool to trim the boat up. So earlier, when I was heading right into the wind, I had the bag pushed right up the front to get the nose of the boat down, and what I find with that is it almost makes the tail end of the boat like a weather vane or a weathercock, and when you're going into wind with a bit more weight in the front, it will literally push the back of the boat round into wind. Equally, sometimes when I'm going with the wind, I will transfer the bag behind me. That lifts the bow up, and it has the same effect but in reverse. So, as I've said, I never ever go on the river without that bag. Just over there on the left hand side, I'm not sure how much you can see in the frame of the camera, but that's Constable Park. That's a glamping site. They do hire canoes, kayaks and paddleboards as well. I've been there a couple of times for lunch, and it's really quite nice. They've also got some glamping pods as well. So I think potentially once we get on the run into summer and the weather is a little bit more stable, hopefully I may speak with the owner. I did have a tentative chat with him last year, but maybe we could possibly get a discount code. Might be a nice little venue for a group paddle for us. We've done a couple of group paddles. The last one, unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend because as I've already said, we had some illness in the family, but there's now been two in the Cambridge area, paddling on the River Cam all the way through the university. And the first one that we did, which I did go on, was really enjoyable. Fantastic bunch of people, nice and relaxed, and to paddle on the river through the different universities in Cambridge, which span the river by various bridges along the way, is really quite an experience. So if you've not done the Cambridge backs, I'd highly recommend that. We launched at a place called Llama's Land, which is the car park, and my guess would be it's possibly maybe 3 hours return trip, possibly 4, but yeah, well worth a visit if you haven't been. So now back from up near Flatford on the River Stour. This is the portage point, locally known as Catawade, and you can see the height of the river is pretty high actually. It's up over the wooden deck. I do believe that that's being replaced, but as it's a nice afternoon, I thought I'm going to take the opportunity to have some lunch here, and I thought I'd show you around the boat. So you can see here it's the Cyrus from Swift. They drill the carbon end caps. Generally speaking, I put a bungee through there because I find it quite handy to just secure some rope with it. Things that they've done differently for 2026 is they have revised the float tanks. In my opinion, these are much nicer. You haven't got the mastic showing around them, and you can see that they've almost got like a swaged edge and fixed into the boat seamlessly. Really nice. The boat that I have, as I've already said, is in carbon, Expedition Carbon. For me, it's really nice. I went with the gold decals. My friend in the States has a similar boat in red, but he's got the I believe they're white decals, and they do look really nice. I'm not sure if it's picking up on the camera, but you can see that there's almost like a bubble there, and there's always, sorry, there's one here as well. That's not a fault of the product. What I tend to do is I put paint protection film for about 2 meters along the side of the boat. For the most part you can't see it, but what that does is it just gives the boat a little bit of protection when bumping up against the dock, and obviously if you're running the gunnel when paddling, it also will offer some protection. So carbon gunnels, cherry seat, which is really comfortable, slightly sloped, and it's got the rolled edges. The thwarts that they've put in the boat are front and back. They're a little bit thinner than they were previously. I guess that's to help save some weight. And here is the carbon footbar, which I wasn't sure that I was going to get that. However, I'm really pleased that I did. Fully adjustable, as you can see. It has got these pegs in which keep it secured. Over on the left hand side here, you can see that I've also put a bungee in place, and that really is just because Swift recommend that you take them out when you put the car on the roof and carry it. I've chosen not to do that, and just as an additional bit of security, I've just put a bungee round on one side so that if it were to come free, I'm not going to lose it. So the inside of the boat is carbon Negra. This is the same finish that you would get with an Expedition Kevlar boat. I'm not sure if you've seen some of my other videos, but I do have a red Expedition Kevlar Swift Prospector, and you can see it's just absolutely stunning, in my opinion at least. Really nice paddling position, tracks well. So it's 14.5 foot long, and I think it has 2.5 inches of rocker in the front and 2 in the back. Moves along quite nicely, tracks really well, quite forgiving also, but at the same time it can be really quite playful. What I have noticed when using the bench shaft to help steer it, it really goes on edge quite nicely, and you can do some really nice edge turns with it as well. So thank you for watching, and let's hope that we all get lots of time on the water and that the weather gods stay on our side. Paddles up, everybody.